Very nice.
Yeah.
But I know that obviously soon after that as well. Like, I know that you're currently working on a project that was commissioned by BBC New Creatives for creating Dear Hometown. I saw the what it's about, and it sounds really amazing. I mean, are you able to share what it's all about, that project?
Yes, again, we go back to the communist
Yeah.
regime in Romania, this time the 50s,
Mm.
where um, in my hometown there was this very weird re-education experiment that took place in a political prison. This political prison, well, it's a memorial now. It's a building
Mm.
that's also a museum. It's quite close to my childhood home. It's within walking range, but I never knew what it was, you know. And I'm quite happy that as a child I didn't know what it was because it's quite a heartbreaking story. Um, so a lot of these political prisoners were brought there, um, suspected of on being unfaithful to the regime or unloyal thinking, as they said it. And it's tragic because they were all, I think most of them were younger than me. They were, I don't know, 17 to 26 years old. And all of them were students, were intellectuals. They were studying philosophy, history, and, you know, all of these subjects that would enable them to actually see past the regime and realize that it's wrong. And that's why they've been brought to this prison, because they represented a threat to the regime. So they weren't really guilty of anything else other than perhaps seeing that what's happening in Romania is wrong. So quite, they were quite bright, you know, as I called them in my tagline. This is what Romania's youngest and brightest had to endure during the 50s. And they were re-educated through, I think it was, there were 4 phases to this re-education process. One of them was snitching on your friends. The other was another, actually a final one was you became the torturer. So in the end, you had to torture your friends, and that's that's actually what I try to um, what I try to convey with my projects is this journey of a mostly innocent young man that comes in there believing that, oh, this is a mistake, this can't be right, why am I here, I didn't do anything. And in the end, to escape the repeated beatings and all kinds of very imaginative torture events, they had to give in and basically become a drone, become a torturer themselves. And that's quite, it's very tragic, to be
Mm, it
honest.
really is. I mean, how difficult is it for you to work on such a deep, sort of emotional project like this?
Uh, for some reason, most of the projects I get are quite heavy,
Mm.
which I know it can't be healthy for me. Yeah, because when I get into research, for example, I remember researching this subject. I watched a lot of interviews with the survivors, which I think most of them have died by now. The interviews were from maybe 10, 15 years ago. And it was heartbreaking to watch. And then I read some books, and reading those books, I had maybe a week of reading, and I was down all the time. I couldn't, it was just every time I put the book down, I was like,
Mm.
you
I
know,
I can imagine. I mean, I was going to ask you actually if it affected you in any way.
oh, it does affect me. I'm sure it has a toll on me. I try to stay up and do the work, because
Hmm.
I know that if I let it affect me, it stops with me. I have to basically become this conductor and amplify the story so that it reaches other people, because if I have a breakdown because of it, I won't be able to do anything about it. And whereas if I tell the story and I create a project out of it, other people will hear it, the story will reach other people. Perhaps some people will be able to do something about it. I mean, this is a historical episode. You can't really fix it, but it's important for people to know about it, because maybe it can prevent it from being repeated at some point, at some time in the future.